will take time. It took at least 2.47 seconds, but the second time if I try to fetch the data again, it will just give me rapidly. Hey everyone, let me set the context for the video. I am currently building a gym SaaS and I've been documenting my journey for past few days, and everything is presented on Instagram. This series is simply to document the process. It's not a very impressive project, or it's not something that's extremely unique either, but my goal is learning. I don't even know if I will even market it or not, and honestly that's not even the point. This is something I've always wanted to build. Many gyms in Pakistan still rely on handwritten registers and signatures, and because of that, tracking members, managing fees, and tracking attendance and maintaining records is extremely difficult for them, and it gets messy over time. So I'm trying to solve that problem and also pushing myself technically by working with multiple technologies, as you can see, and fairly complex system. This is the system we have built and designed so far, and I'll be breaking it down eventually. But the whole process is all already documented on Instagram, so you can actually watch it there. I also get a lot of DMs asking that, hey Umar, how do you approach a problem? How do you debug the errors, and what do you do actually when you're stuck? So this series is something that will show the raw process, my thinking, mistakes, fixes, and decisions. Everything that you'll see is just my personal opinion and my personal decisions. It's just my personal workflow. It's not to impress anyone. We already have implemented a very decent number of features, as you can already see. This is for the backend, and we have also and all of this is done without the use of AI. So that was the impressive part, and pretty much many more are coming, including the deployments, the CI/CD. Uh, how do I learn Prometheus and Grafana and implement it? Because I haven't worked with Prometheus or Grafana. I have used New Relic and I have used Sentry, but I haven't used Prometheus or Grafana. Or there are a lot of things that I have not used, but we'll be learning that along the way. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the build. Let's start the project. Yes. We have two folders. Let's start both and VM1 dev, front end, and VM1 dev. Got it. All right. So all of this is a fake data. We have not done any kind of work on dashboard. The front end is mostly built with AI. Most probably I think I used DeepSeek for it, and the prototype was built by VO. I think V0 or VO, I don't know. I think it's V0. So yeah, we have done some work on members module. We have done all the CRUD. This is me joining few tables. Here you can see all of the tables. Here I'm just joining the fees module with the members table and showing it here. It's nothing impressive. So I think we have implemented all of the CRUD here. Front end, let's test it. Oh, we got our first error. Members page.tsx, members page.tsx. What line? Line number. It worked. Nice. Front end 2. Yeah, it's working. So our CRUD is working, but we now have an issue. The issue is it's taking a lot of time in reloading the members, and this data is something that will not be changing frequently. So we need to implement caching. So we need to implement Redis in our application, which will going to be very fun. So let's see, where are the controllers, where are basically routes, members, And these are the few routes that we have in which we need to implement the caching. So I hope you know how the caching works. Basically, this is our front end. I'm not going to explain that a lot, just for just the raw mental model. Front end, back end, database. Currently what's happening is on every request we are sending a request on the backend, and backend is sending the request to the database, and database is returning the value. That can take 1 or 2 seconds. But since the data will not be changed and we don't need to ask the database directly, we can just implement a caching layer here, in which we'll just store the data, and our database will directly ask the Redis for the data instead of the DB. So it will be very fast. Let's implement that. Get all members info, which is the endpoint that's being called here. So probably this one, paginated with search. Yes, this one. Here we need to implement caching. Here's the DB call. This is the DB call. So we need to implement to do add caching here. So our approach is going to be very simple. The first time we will ask the database for the data, and we will then store it in our cache. After the database returns the data, we'll store it in cache. And the next time when it comes, we will check the Redis, if the Redis has all of our data, and if it already has our data, we'll just return it. But if it doesn't have, we'll send the request to database. So that's going to be our strategy. So here we will first check if Redis has the data. The pagination is going to be tricky, but let's just skip the pagination and see if it works directly. Check if Redis has the data. If not, we'll store the data. Store response here in cache. That's going to be our strategy. So what we need to do is we need to check if we already have Redis installed. Redis is already working, but I don't see log index.ts. We need to restart the backend server, check if our Redis is connected. Client, okay, Redis. The Redis setup is very simple. I initiated it in one of the videos on Instagram, so you can actually you just need to install Redis and start the client, nothing else. But you also need to check if we view services list. Our Redis is not running, which means it will not start. I hope I'm right. Yes, our Redis will not start because it's not running. So if you don't have Redis, you need to actually install it first. View services start Redis, and once it starts, the default port is 6379 of the Redis. You can actually see it here as well. Default port for Redis, it's 6379, which we have already set that up. So if we start again, it will work now. What the? Not found Redis instance app error. It should work. Client. Oh, sorry. I think it needs to be local host. No? How to create a Redis client? Actually, create a client. No, don't need to do that. Yes. So we don't need to do that. And if I start it, will it work? Oh, cool, it's working. We don't need to actually add the URL there. So now, since our Redis is working, we need to start implementing it. Numbers, is it recording or not? Yes. चलो भाई start करते हैं. All right. So how to work with Redis? Store and retrieve a simple string. This is how you store key value, and this is how you retrieve. So we are also going to do this. We are going to store, as we talked here. We will be storing that in the database. Sorry, we will be storing the response from the database, and we will be retrieving from the Redis layer. So store and retrieve a map. We don't need a map because we'll be storing the raw data. Okay, we don't need this. That is quit. ये बताओ भाई. That is node API with database. Let's see. अभी के मत guide. Where हो गया? Connect. Get. We will have a key here, and we will have a return the cache version. ठीक है. How do I save it? Attacks. Key. All right. This is something we will be doing. Redis key structure. How do I know that it's the same value? We need to return with the same pagination values as well. It's not just the data. We also need to keep in mind all of the parameters. Laptop is I think let's first store the raw data and ignore all the pagination values, and we'll go forward from there. First we'll check if Redis has data. Okay, Redis, we don't have the client. Client, yes, we get Redis. can do that. Redis dot I don't know as Redis thing is the Redis dot get key. Let's say for now key is Redis key is members, and we members Redis dot get members, and okay, not this the official documentation. Oh, that's it. We need to check if the Redis key has members. Await Redis cached members. If cached members return, how do I return it? And the same response. But instead of json dot pass cached members, we will be storing response. Where is the response? Wait a second. Let's just ignore this. Where is this response coming from? Oh, my bad. We will be storing members as well as the values of them, right? How do I store 4 things? Members and pagination. All right, I'll store this. Store it like this. Okay, if we have cached members, then we'll just return this. That's my format. Let's just extract it first. Data json dot pass cached members, and this the object that we'll store will be looking something like this: data of members of members, here pagination dot equal to all this. Will look exactly like this. This is the exact format that we'll be storing. So let's imagine that and return the data dot members from here, data dot members from here, and extract the page limit total from data dot pagination. Right, this is the same data we need to store as well. Store in a cache. Wait redis dot set. How do I set it? My key and key would be members, same as this, same as this. And data would look something like stringify cached data parsing needs to look something like members, members, right? And pagination need to look exactly like this. Cached parsing, right? And if I now restart it, it should work directly. Why it's logging up? Oh, the backend is okay. The first request took how much time? Whoa, 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 whoa. Cool, man, cool. Oh, this is the front end issue. As you can see, this did not took any time because it's coming directly from the cache, but we got another problem. It's inconsistent and we're going to solve this with plot. We are not going to work on the front end for now. Let's just say developer side projects, join SaaS, check why plot please read, that's not working. Please read my client, what's the file called? Client API. Oh, sorry. Read my client API. And auth store check why my request is constantly okay, continuously going to /4 priorities on the backend. This should not happen. Let's check if everything's working. Let's check on the let me just log in internal /login internal auth /login is index ts/auth/login. Oh, it's 8,000, not 3,000. I'm logged in. Here /members get invalid2. Oh, okay. And as you can see, just giving me data so much rapidly and so fast. This is the power of Redis. It's not even taking a single second, it's just returning the data in 8 milliseconds, which is super fast. So let's just debug it. So did you fix the issue? Oh, it's not fixed. It's not fixed. The request to slash profile is still going continuously. It should only go once and store in just end. Fix that issue and we'll. So now we need to improve it. How can we improve it? Because when we add pagination, we don't actually have the privilege to store in this very simple key in our Redis, because we want the data different with all these parameters. We need with different limit, we need the data with different page, the different total, which page we are currently on, everything. So how can we improve that? The very first thing that we need to do is we need to make it dynamic. And the very first thing that is which is unique is gym id, request dot user dot gym id. That's unique. The second thing, and let me show you the key, Redis key structure. Redis refers to a naming convention and best practices for creating keys. And you did not show me how the keys work. Let me just show you. String overview of Redis strings. As you can see, this is how the Redis wants you to store the data. So it's consistent. This is something I read a while back and it's just stuck in my mind. So the gym ID is supposed to be the gym ID. Members, we obviously need members, but we also need to have the page. If we send the data with different page, which we can just do it here, page, it doesn't matter because, just give me a second, it does not matter because it's storing all the data in members and we don't need that. So we need to have different pages in the Redis. Members page is equal to page, limit is equal to limit. Interesting. We don't know where the page is coming from. Constant page. Okay. We need to use it. Okay. Limit and skip to skip. Oh, it's patching up and search to and search to search. So what we are saying here is I only want you to give me the data that matches the exact parameters, the page, limit, skip, search, everything. So it will check if first did you solve the issue? How do we delete the Redis? How to delete Redis cache. Redis CLI execute. Oh, did you fix it? Just, yeah, it's fixed. If we refresh it, we might need to log in once. Oh, it's good. Interesting, interesting. What was the next step? Oh, sorry. I was going for CLI. Redis CLI. We don't have Redis. Redis. We not have Redis. We will install Redis. I already have Redis. Anyways, how to install Redis CLI? Connect to your Redis instance. If Redis is same machine, simply run Redis CLI. It's on a different port. Let's say Docker. It's running in Docker. It's not running in Docker. All keys from the database. Use the flash all. Can I do that? No, we can't do that. Flash all. Okay. Redis. Oh, still did not find. Redis CLI. Do I have that? Oh, okay. Now it's deleted. And now if we, how do we check our current cache? How do we check cache in Redis? CLI, cache. Keys, pattern, info, Redis CLI. Install Redis CLI. Command line usage. Okay, let's see. If we store these, it might take time first time. The first time it will take time. But if we do it again, it should not. And why the data has not returned? That's an interesting story. This is something interesting, and if we do flush all again, it will take time again. But why it's not returning the data? We did not delete anything. It's not something we completely do this. Oh, I need to restart the server. It will take time the first time, but the data has not returned. Why is that? I did not change anything related to data. Should not be possible. Windows. Yeah, I did not even touch the data. Why the data is not being returned? Because the page, oh, the page is 2. Interesting. That could actually prove my theory right. If we change the parameters, we will have a different set of cache for that. That's very impressive. That's very impressive work. That's really, let's test our theory. I don't even know what the gem ID is. Can I get all, how do I get all how do I get all keys of Redis CLI? Okay, keys, sorry, I don't need keys, members, and it only has members, which is bad, actually bad. Let's just flush all. It needs to store this data. So here we are not sending any kind of members, limit, skip, search, and let's see what it returns. And now if we do keys, it will store the data, members. But now if we send some limit to it, limit 1, which means it should return 1. It is returning 1, and it should have a different key. Then why did it took time? Oh, because I'm just setting it with the members. I'm just setting the keys as members. I'm not basically, I'm not configuring how to set the key. It should be very simple enough. I think this should work. Yeah, this will definitely work. Let's just flush all. Check if we have any keys. We don't have any keys yet. And now let's try this. If we send the parameter of limit 1, it should store the members as and limit 1. It should store this key. It will take time. It took at least 2.47 seconds, but the second time if I try to fetch the data again, it will just give me rapidly. It will return this specific key. Yeah, it's saving the gem ID, it's saving the page number, it's saving the limit as well. We are not skipping anything. And now we need to ensure that everything else is working as well. If I remove the parameter, it should return 2 objects. And now it's returning 2 objects. And if we search again, we should have 2 keys. Now let's change the parameter again. Let's just skip the first object. The second object name is member 1. Let's just skip that. Skip 1. Now it should return this member 1. Skip, oh, should return. Oh, the default key that goes here, if we don't pass it, it goes like 1. Oh, it's not goes 1, it goes 0. If we add skip to it, it should just change, no? We add skip, yes. Skip is going, oh, skip is not the key. Skip is what the limit is. So it's depending on that. It's not extracting from the parameters. So it makes sense. Is there any way to change? Let's just say, let's just add search. Search will be member 1. Just say, yeah, this takes time and it's returning the member 1. If we do it again, it's returning rapidly. And now if we check keys, it's returning all the keys. So our endpoint is completely working and it's fully powered by Redis. So let's just check if it's working here as well. It should just return the data rapidly. See, it's true. Yes, sir. It's not loading anymore. We don't get loading, so I think it's working pretty fast. And if we flush all, it will load again. Well, it will fetch for the first time. Yes, it took some. It took 2 seconds, but if we refresh it again, now it just took 132 milliseconds, which is also pretty impressive. So let's just we don't have filters yet, but we do have search. The members, oh, we are searching on the front end. That's one of the flaw. But yes, anyways, this is how I think this is enough for today, and we will be implementing Redis in almost all of our get endpoints, and we'll see how it's working. We also need to delete this. We also need to delete this when we add a new member, because we need fresh data. We need to have a fresh data. How can we add expire? How can we add expiry? I saw it somewhere. Save Redis key with expire. No. Client set key value px 60 seconds. We needed 300. Okay. Redis expire takes milliseconds. So how many milliseconds we have in milliseconds in 1 hour? 305 minutes. 305 minutes. So let's just add 36,000. And key would be Redis key. So it will expire after an hour. Let's run it again. One final test. If we search this, if we do flush all, if we search this, it will take some time, maybe a second or two, and it loads. But if we retrieve it again, it will just rapidly return the data. And we'll also work on the profile as well. Let's just do that, because we need to make it very fast. So sorry, controller, auth controller, we need to add a profile. Let's just say constant Redis client, Redis key. It should be user ID. User ID. If we have user ID, how do we return it? We return the response like this. Right? We return it like this. Data JSON dot string. Okay, let's just do that. JSON dot stringify constant data JSON dot parse is constant cached user await Redis client dot get Redis key. If we have the cached user, we will parse it with json.stringify cached user, and we will be using that. We can just directly use the user here. If we don't have it, we search for it in the database, and then we store it. Await client dot save dot set the user key, Redis key, and json dot stringify the user key. This is what we are storing. I don't. So we do flush all. We search everything again for the first time. This it's loading, and the members are loading as well, and it's taking 2 seconds each. And if we search it again, it's loading again, but it's returned very quickly. I think it's fine. It's pretty quick. It's almost 24 milliseconds, and profile returned in 23 milliseconds. It's pretty much fast. I think, yeah, that's it. That's what we can do for today, and I'll see you tomorrow, I guess.